Hey everyone, welcome back to Shop Life. This is probably the first and only time that you'll probably ever see me try something like this, especially on a clean BMW like the one behind me. So what we have behind me is an E34 525i. What the owner is experiencing with this car is there is a very minor head gasket leak. So it's actually leaking outside the engine. So near cylinder 6, right at the very top corner, is leaking right at the head gasket where the head meets the block. Alright, so you can see that very small drop of coolant about to drop down. That's at the corner of the head and where the block meet, right next to cylinder 6. So you can see there's a little bit of oil there as well, but the oil is also coming from the valve cover gasket. But there is some oil and coolant coming from that part of the head gasket. So that is the issue. Initially I thought it could possibly be the freeze plug that's right in the corner, but I'm pretty sure it's not because you can see the trail leading up from the top. There's no over pressurizing of the cooling system. There are no exhaust gases in the cooling system. There's no coolant mixing with oil, anything like that. So what we're gonna try to do today is we're gonna try to use these AcDelco cooling system tablets, which are made with some kind of ginger and all kinds of stuff. They've got ginger, turmeric, ginger, turmeric, almond nutshell, sodium carbonate, and polyethylene glycol, which is also found in coolant. So what we're going to do is, actually GM uses these or used to use them in some of their engines directly from the factory before they put it in the car. They'll mix some of these tablets into the cooling system just to seal certain parts of the cooling system, or at least help seal them. So we're actually going to try this in this BMW. It's not overheating or anything currently at all. It's just leaking coolant from that part at the head gasket. The owner of the car, he's agreed to this. Obviously he's looked into it as well. You can look it up on the forums. There's a lot of people that have tried it. There's a lot of people that swear by it. So we're just gonna see how it works. Since it is something that the dealership put in from factory, I mean, we could probably trust it a little bit more than any of those radiator stopper leaks and stuff like that. But I guess we're gonna find out. I did some more research on it. Initially, my impression of this tablet was that we should, just block off the heater core. So make sure there's, just route the heater core so nothing goes into the heater core. Also pull out the thermostat and then see what happens there. But as I've read, a lot of people just recommend just crushing up some of these tablets depending on how much coolant is in your system, and just go ahead and just put them in there with everything functioning normally. And you just drive it around and see what happens. So obviously he's not too worried about this engine. The car itself is really, really clean, but he's always wanted to swap a different engine into it, something a little bit more powerful. So if this doesn't work, then he's gonna be able to swap something in. So let's just go ahead and get to it. Once again, these are the AcDelco cooling system seal tabs. You can probably even find these at AutoZone. All right, so they included 5 4-gram tablets. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use 3 of these. And how we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in this Ziploc bag. We're gonna crush it up just with like a hammer, just get it really nice and fine powder. Then I've got some coolant pre-mixed with 50-50 with water. We're gonna put the tablets in there, shake this up, get it all nice and dissolved in there, whatever, if it dissolves or not, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Then we're gonna pour it into the cooling system and get the cooling system back to the normal capacity. So what you could do is you can drain some of the coolant out already. I've already done that. I've already drained probably about two quarts of it out. So we're just gonna go ahead and get to it. All right. So I've already done a compression test on this motor, and the compression and everything is actually fine. It's not like, anything that will indicate a huge leak. So I'm pretty sure it's just leaking at that cylinder 6. It could possibly be from, just a failure of the gasket. I mean, the car hasn't overheated or anything. So we're not entirely sure what caused it to go bad. Ow, that was my thumb. Obviously, you can see I've never done this before. And I do not recommend doing this if you can fix your coolant leak without taking off half of the engine pretty much. Like, doing a head gasket, that's a pretty major job. And I usually don't advocate for replacing head gaskets because it's usually more cost effective to just replace the motor with a used one, or engine with a used one. And as far as head gaskets go, I mean, if you're willing to swap something in the future, you just need something to get you by, or you're in the middle of a road trip and you're kind of in an emergency situation, this is something that if it does work, you know, something that you can try out. I think that's pretty fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Oh shit.
Make a hole at the bottom. Wait, don't do it that way. Make a cut a slit.
There's already a hole somewhere.
I know, but you cut a slit is easier to pour it in. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. This is why you keep a female around.
A boy? I'll kick your ass.
I hope this powder works better than these scissors do. Man. Oh my god.
Just.
Alright, let's try this. Hey!
It's spilling out. Wow, so easy.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit! Oops.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's a little less than 3 tablets at this point. You know, this is like, they got, some Indian must have came up with this, because these are all spices that you find in an Indian spice cabinet. Like turmeric powder. Is it turmeric or turmeric? I thought it was turmeric.
Turmeric.
Turmeric? Like, I thought there was an R between the T-U.
I don't know, you're Indian.
Yeah,
you should know.
I'm pretty sure it's turmeric, and turmeric powder is like yellowish orange.
Yeah.
It smells like an Indian spice cabinet.
Like your house?
Yeah. My house don't smell like an Indian spice cabinet. I'm saying if you open the spice cabinet, then you smell this. Or when you're cooking. Now watch all these. I'm just what's it called? Enabling all these racist comments to start coming through. Let's put this in there.
Look at how clean it is. Holy moly. Holy moly, look at that.
If you guys watch the vlog channel and you've seen the cleanest M5, E39 M5, that had like close to 200,000 miles, this is the same guy that owns this car. So as you can see, he has a really high standard on how clean he keeps his cars. So I mean, you can tell, I mean, he's willing to try this. He's not really too worried about this engine. I mean, he's just more worried about the whole body of the car, the interior, everything. This car is really mint. The engine, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. We can put an S54 in here if we need to. Let's do this. So I've got the bleeder valve off, and we should be about, like I said, 1 to 2 quarts low. That is like muddy water. Let me add a little bit more water and mix it up a little bit. Yeah, that should be good. Let's test it out. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and put the bleeder screw back in for right now. We're going to turn the car on, you know, turn the heater on. Let's get all of this coolant flowing through the whole system. And then, you know, we'll check back in a little bit. See if there's any air in here, we'll bleed it out, and then we're just going to drive it around for a little bit, and then we'll check the leak again. I mean, it was leaking constantly pretty much. Whenever the car's on, you can start seeing the whole buildup around it. So we're just going to drive it around and we'll see what happens. Alright, so a quick update on the whole ginger root tablet. It's been about 2 weeks since the whole, you know, putting it in and mixing it in the cooling system. And the owner of the car has told me that everything's going fine. It's not really leaking out anywhere. It's not overheating. It wasn't overheating before anyways. So far, so good. You know, we're just got to look over, you know, a longer period of time. And I'll try to keep updating you guys as soon as, you know, I have some more information. Next time the car comes in, it might be a few months from now. So we'll be able to take a look at it and just go from there. So for the most part, I give it a thumbs up. It doesn't really hurt to try if your car is like, you know, not really overheating, if the head gasket's blown, but you're just losing coolant, it's not mixing in with the oil. Or even if it is overheating a little bit, but you're not misfiring like crazy, it might be a good option to try before you start digging into the, you know, doing the whole head gasket or replacing the engine. But like I said, I wouldn't do this if you're just trying to get rid of the car to sell it to somebody. I would not do that just so it can be a temporary patch, unless you let the new owner know. So this is not something that you just want to, you know, hide. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope this helps out a lot of people, and thanks for watching.